Today we have a very busy day ahead of us. Today is very important because today I will be practicing with the script of both YouTube videos and Friends. Today is day 5, so that means today I will be working on the between minute 10 and 13 of Friends, episode 2, day 5. Obviously, I will keep practicing with the script of Friends because as a beginner, if you're a beginner right now and if you're struggling to speak English, you should start learning English with sitcoms, and this is exactly what I was doing 8 years ago. So I wanted to fully get a better understanding of how I used to practice with the script of Friends 8 years ago as a complete beginner. But on the other hand, after practicing with Friends for about a year, you will see that you will get to that level where you're almost like between intermediate and advanced level, where you will have this desire to keep improving yourself on various different topics. And this is where YouTube videos come into play, and this is where you will have to start learning English with the script of YouTube videos. When you want to advance your English, when you want to get your English to this native speaker level, you will have to practice with the script of YouTube videos. How do we practice and how do we learn English with the script of YouTube videos? First of all, based on your goals, based on your purpose in life, you will have to choose a very specific subject. So this is what I do. I choose a very specific topic, on YouTube. I pick my subject. I would like to speak about, for instance, rent prices in Istanbul, cost of living in Istanbul, how to look for an apartment in Istanbul. This is my subject. I would like to talk about this subject. But how do I talk about this subject in English? First of all, I do a little bit of research on YouTube. I find YouTube videos or podcasts related to this subject that I would like to talk about. You know that I found this video on Taylor Bell's YouTube channel, New York City apartment hunting from home, virtual apartment hunt, best tips and tricks. This video. And after finding my video, what I did was I got the script of this video. I printed out the script of this video, right? I completed my preparation process. What was my preparation process? Preparation process is a phase where you look up the words in the dictionary that you don't know and you write down the meaning of those words right next to those lines on the script. Right now, as of today, I am at the stage 2 where I will actively start to improve my speaking skill, my comprehension, my knowledge, and my speaking skill, most important to my speaking skill, by practicing with the script of this video. And this is stage 2. I will practice with the script of this video for the next 5 days. This is a 8 minutes long video. Okay, so basically I will start practicing with the script of this video, and I will start from the minute 0 and I will stop at the minute 4. When I get to minute 4, when I reach the minute 4, I will stop here. And I will work on this only 4 minutes of this video. And I will practice with the script of this video on the 4 minutes of this video for about, 2 hours. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, I got my toast here and I will eat my toast while watching the video of Taylor Bell, which is the video that I will be working on today. I will be practicing with the script of this video, okay? Once I finish my breakfast. Hey guys, I have the scripts here. I have the scripts of Taylor Bell's YouTube video. My scripts are ready. Now I'm gonna start to practice with the script of Taylor Bell, and I will start from the minute 0 and I will stop at the minute 4, okay? And when I get to minute 4, I will start all over again from the top, okay?
How to find an apartment in New York City online, virtually, from anywhere.
How to find an apartment in New York City online, virtually, from anywhere. What's up guys, it's a quickie today. We're gonna go through a lot in 8 minutes.
What's up guys, this is a quickie today, but we are gonna go through a lot in 8 minutes.
We're gonna take a who, why, when, how, why approach. So as a heads up, when I say New York, I mean referring to Manhattan, all 5 boroughs of New York City. But these tips definitely apply to all 5 boroughs of New York City. You can filter your search. With the advanced search, you can filter by amenities like air conditioning, laundry, or units, whatever tickles your feet. The only way of making most out of this study plan, this study technique, this study strategy, this study method is to pinpoint the topic that you would like to learn and you would like to talk about. For instance, I told you guys on my second channel, I would like to talk about how to find an apartment in Istanbul, what are the prices in Istanbul, and how to look for an apartment, what are the main things that you will take into consideration before you move to Istanbul temporarily or for good. Rule number 2, this is not a copying the things that she talks about in her videos. What I mean by that is, for instance, Taylor Bell talks about how to look for an apartment in New York City, right? My goal is to make a video and talk about how to look for an apartment in Istanbul. What I'm trying to do is here, I try to analyze, I try to understand, how she talks about this topic, apartment hunting, how to look for an apartment, how to find an apartment. That's the first goal. I try to internalize the way she makes the sentences so that, I can sound more like native speaker when it comes to making sentences, speaking English on those topics. And the other thing is, I learn and internalize the terms and words, vocabulary, that is very specific to this topic. For instance, amenities fee waived, concession, giveaway concession. The best way of thinking in English is to speak English.
Where the websites that you're going to want to look at are streeteasy.com and apartments.com.
Websites that you're going to want to look at are streeteasy.com and apartments.com. Okay, guys, for instance, I would like to make a video about, for instance, how to find an apartment in Istanbul, and automatically I started thinking in English, okay, that's great, because also in Turkey, if you're looking for an apartment, there is this website, sahibindan.com, and if you're looking for an apartment in Turkey, this is the website, sahibindan.com, that you can use for looking for an apartment. Okay, so basically, right now, I started to create my own video. Okay, sahibindan.com, I can talk about this stuff, I can talk about this website because this is the main website that everybody is using for finding an apartment in Turkey. Good, sahibindan.com, I can talk about this website.
You can filter your search starting with the basics, so filtering neighborhoods that you want to live in, price, of course, how many bedrooms.
Filter neighborhoods that you want to live in. Neighborhoods. Okay, filter neighborhoods that you want to live in.
One thing that I think is worth looking at is the subway filter.
One thing I think is worth looking at is the subway filter. Yeah, transportation, subway filter, neighborhoods. Guys, for instance, Taylor talks about when it comes to looking for an apartment, you can do your search by filtering neighborhoods and also subway station. Automatically, I started thinking in my brain, I started thinking to myself, okay, Istanbul is a very big city. Istanbul is 2 times bigger than New York City, and transportation plays a huge role in Istanbul. Istanbul is the bridge between European and Asian side, and there is a huge difference between European and Asian side of Istanbul. So basically, the first thing that you need to take into consideration is to actually decide which side of the Istanbul you would like to live in, Asian side or European side. Okay. That is brainstorming. Right now I'm brainstorming. Actively, interactively, while I'm practicing with the script of Taylor Bell, I am brainstorming right now. Okay, I can talk about cultural aspect of those neighborhoods and side of Istanbul, Asian side and European side. Neighborhoods. Istanbul is a very big city, 2 times bigger than New York City, with a 60 million population. So that means also Istanbul is a very massive city, and transportation and subway station plays a huge role. These are my talking points. These are my bullet points. This is where I start to actively form my thoughts. Okay guys, now I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee, and there's one thing that I would like to talk about. Today I'm having a real hard time on focusing on this video, practicing with my script of YouTube videos and friends, because you have no idea what's going on. There is so many earthquakes happening in Istanbul right now, since the morning in a row. Anyways, I better make my coffee. By the way, Easter eggs. Last day was Easter. Since today I will be only working on the between minutes 10 and minutes 13, I start watching Friends from the minute 10, and I will stop watching it when I finish my break. Don't listen to your mother, you're independent and you always been. Don't listen to your mother, you're independent and you've always been.
Listen to your mother. You're independent and you always have been.
Okay, for instance, let's assume that you're right now working on this part of this Friends, okay? When it comes to speaking, right? When you speak, obviously you make grammar mistakes, you make mistakes, right? And when you want to make a sentence, you always think about the sentence that you would like to make, you would like to say. And this part of this video, for instance, is a great way of improving your speaking skill. Let me explain to you guys why. For instance, don't listen to your mother. You're independent and you always have been. For instance, you like to use this grammar rule, have been, right? I have been doing this. You always have been. For instance, the minute I say this, you always have been, that sentence reminds me a scene from House of Cards when I was practicing with House of Cards. For instance, this character was saying that I have been thinking lately.
Hey, Peter, there's something I need to tell you. I have been thinking lately.
I have been thinking lately. I realized you guys have been wondering.
I realize you guys have been wondering what exactly happened between Carol and me.
I have been thinking lately. You guys have been wondering. You always have been. As you keep working on those scripts again and again, as you keep saying those lines again and again, in a very natural way, you start to make the same exact sentences because you don't know the other way. You don't know the other way. And you will keep coming across very similar lines, very similar expressions like this again and again as you keep practicing. And over time, as time goes on, you will start to make the same exact sentences. Like Ross says, you guys have been wondering. And I say, I've been studying. I've been filming a YouTube video. I've been working. I've been studying. I've been wondering. You know, I've been thinking. Now, right now, I listen to this podcast. I'll insert it in the video. And while I'm taking a walk. So yeah, I'm gonna take my, 30 minutes walk. By the way, what is up with this weather? It's April 23 and it feels like winter. Anyways, now I'm gonna go take my walk while listening to this podcast of Taylor Bell.